Hello again and welcome back to another video review. Today we have a package that I purchased off eBay, which should have whatever the title of this video shall be called inside of here. So my objective for this was to buy the absolute cheapest phone I could off eBay. I needed something that had some sort of a gimmick, you know, flashing lights or something like that. I found one for $45 Australian or $33.93 US dollars. So let's crack this open and see what we get. Now there's no customs declaration stuff on it, so that bit I usually show. Right, inside the package we get another package. Do you know what I don't? Okay. Call these people if it's damaged, right? We are into this green box with the name Timmy, which is the brand of this phone. I don't know. Okay. So there's a silhouette of the phone there, or a stencil, or whatever you want to call it. Let's see around the box. Nothing. Onto the back here we have the specifications. This is a Timmy M9, 149 by 71.8 by 8.9 millimeters, 5-inch screen, IPS 960 by 540. Not the best display in the world, but it'll do. MTK MediaTek 6582. It's a quad core, 1.3 gigahertz. So if that means anything to you, yeah. OS is Android 4.4.2, very outdated OS, but okay. Internal memory is 1 gig of RAM and 8 gig of ROM, we will see. And the battery is a 2000 milliamp hour battery. So now we've covered that, let's open the box and see what we get. Here is obviously the phone itself. Ooh, a pretty organized looking box here. Oh, okay, so the box just comes apart sort of thing. Anyways, inside the box we get a tiny little power brick. What is it rated at? It's a 5 volt 1000 milliamp. Not for my country, unfortunately. Doesn't matter. USB cable. There is no headset. That's a bit strange. Okay. There is the instruction manuals, which I won't go through because it's probably just all, yeah, the usual. What to do if the phone couldn't be turned on. Take it out and put it back in. It's pretty easy, pretty simple, and a whole bunch of other languages, yada yada yada. They also include a screen protector, which is nice of them, and they also include a case. So for $33 US, you're also getting a case with it. Oh, hang on. Why is there adhesive? Well, let's just dig into the phone and see. So the box is not exactly the best box in the world, but it will do. For this price, I'm not really going to complain. So let's take out the phone, which is quite heavy, by the way. It's quite a bit of a hefty device. Please open the back cover and remove the insulation paste from the battery before use. I will, Timmy, I will. Now you will look at this device and go, okay, oh, there's already a screen protector already installed on it. That's pretty cool. We can leave that screen protector on there, or we can take it off. I might just take it off. Ooh, that's nice. Oddly satisfying, but yeah, you get a free screen protector in the box anyways. So it looks like a pretty average device at first, but then you get to this part here, and what you can do is rotate it around to have the camera facing you for a selfie with the flash on there. So this is actually quite an interesting little gimmick. I have seen this on a few other phones, but not on something like this. So yeah, that's a little interesting feature there, isn't it? So we're going to have to try that and see what it does. So here we have an earpiece and some standard sensors. Around the phone is a very sort of plastic feeling, not the best quality, but it's heavier than most normal sort of cheapy phones, so that's one thing. And on the left side of the phone here we have the volume rockers as well as the power button. We also have a micro USB port and a headphone jack, which is quite standard for these. And there's also a bottom speaker there, which should be a front-firing speaker. Otherwise, a very sort of goldish sort of plated bezel around here, but it's definitely all plastic, unfortunately. So with the camera facing the back of the phone, we can see that it it doesn't have the most thinnest bezels in the world, and with this extra speaker part here, it adds a little bit more to the phone to obviously make it, you know, a little bit bigger and make it seem like it's got more features than it should. But overall, it's a nice design. It's a nice sort of sleek design, although it's a little bit chunky. It's not too bad though. It does feel comfortable in the hand, which is good. Fits quite comfortably. There's no fingerprint reader or anything like that, so if you're going straight there for a fingerprint reader, unfortunately there's none there. Let's remove the back cover and see the battery inside of the phone. There's also a speaker just here, so I'm wondering if that one there is just hiding the microphone or if it's just there for show. It sort of looks from there on sort of like a an old HTC M7, if I remember correctly. So we'll see if both of them work. So there's a little groove just here to be able to pull off the entire back cover. It's very tight actually. Okay, so the back cover's taken off. There's nothing really extravagant there. So here is inside of the phone here. We can see the pretty big battery. So let's take this out of the device. And we can see this battery just has some standard stuff on it and 2000 milliamp hour. QR code there. Don't know what that will bring you to. Yeah, it just has Timmy on there. Nice little green battery. And I should remove this insulation tape. Underneath the battery we have Timmy Model M9 with the frequency, smartphone made in China, both IMEIs, and the serial number. We can see the SIM trays here. We can see the multi-chamber design that this has. Obviously, SIM 2 goes underneath, which is a full-size SIM, goes underneath, and SIM 2 goes just in here, and I believe the micro SD card slot goes in here, which I will show. Right, so all the SIM cards have been loaded in. You can see the SD card is in there, the micro SIM is there, and the full-size SIM is just underneath. So it has a little guide on how to install the SIM cards. Very easy process, but yeah, you can have dual SIM and an SD card, which is good. For a phone at this price range, it's a good option to have that. Okay, so the back cover is installed, so let's go ahead and turn this phone on. And it has juice. There you go. The speaker sounds like it actually comes out of here as well, so we will have to investigate this very soon. Yep, so it's detected my SIM cards, which is good. That's looking pretty 4.4.2. No setup as well, just goes straight into it. Alright, so the touch is a little strange at first, because, yeah, you can see it's just sort of jumping around all over the place. So out of the box, it looks like a stock version of Android 4.4.2. Pretty minimal applications, pretty much exactly everything that you would expect to see. See, the touch is just... Oh, hang on. Oh! Oh, okay. It's got an air gesture. Okay, so we'll have to go ahead and turn that off. Pretty much all stock functions. The browser is not Google Chrome, but that doesn't really matter. You can get it off the Play Store because you are obviously buying this device and you want something cheap. You're going to want to customize it up a little bit. So with using this just for a few minutes, the screen is quite clear. It's not exactly the most clearest screen in the world, as you would expect, with the resolution only being 960 by 540. It still offers a decent picture. For pretty much most normal use, it shouldn't be much of a problem. So I wanted to see this 3D weather app that's on here, but it doesn't want to work. It can't find my city, which is strange because I am connected to my Wi-Fi network, which is a very poor Wi-Fi signal, considering that my router's only just sort of next door. It shouldn't be that much of an issue, but yeah, there you go. So let's open browser. Yeah, WorldNet. Oh, never seen this one before. And straight away we have ads on there. Browsing experience appears to be pretty slow. It's not the fastest in the world, but I mean, it's okay. Look, for basic stuff, it should be fine. For basic sort of Facebook use and browsing, it should be pretty good. But it's just make sure that you know it's not going to be the most fastest thing in the world. And it's probably recommended that you get Google Chrome for this because of the ads and stuff that are on the default browser. So what I want to do is test the speaker first to make sure it sounds okay and see where exactly the sound is coming from. So we're going to open up music. Alright, so I have my favorite song loaded up on here. So let's go ahead and test this for the speaker test. Can we do? Aww. That looks pretty cool though. Let's turn this up full ball and go to the good part. So the speaker quality isn't that clear. I mean, it's decent enough. It doesn't protrude out of here. I mean, it kind of does. It sounds like it's sort of like an empty space is just here, and it allows it to sort of fire through. It's a bit of an illusion sort of thing, but it does work. As I said, not the best, but for this price range, I'm not really going to complain terribly much. Now, I haven't mentioned that the buttons down here are all capacitive, of course, with the menu key there, home key, and the return key as usual. Now, I have my SD card installed, which has some specification software on here, so let's go ahead and install these, just to see if what's described on eBay and on the box is the same as in the phone. Right, so opening up the first CPU application, CPU-Z, we have a MediaTek MT6582 quad-core at 1.3 GHz, and the cores are fluctuating because they're obviously stopping and starting due to the load that is demanded by the phone. The device is an M9, as it says. The screen size is 4.59 inches. It's supposed to be 5 inch, but okay. 540 by 960, 240 DPI, and total RAM is 960 megabytes as advertised, which is good. 4.4.2, and it all looks pretty average. So let's have a look at Antutu and see if it's any different. So in Antutu, we have that it's an M9, Mali 400 MP GPU, 540 by 960, 8 megapixel camera. RAM is 9, yep, everything seems to be pretty much on par. So let's have a look and see multi-touch, if it's just 2 or 1. Yeah, it's only a 2-point multi-touch, which is usual for these types of phones. Rear camera is 8 megapixel, which obviously is a front-facing one as well, 4.4.2. So yes, everything is exactly as advertised. Now, I didn't realize this, but the eBay listing does actually show that it does come with a protective case and everything like that. Something I missed, but there you go. So everything that comes in the box is advertised on eBay. So I guess we want to try the number one feature, which is the Gimmick, the camera. So let's go ahead and test the camera and see what it's got to offer. Here we have the camera facing the front, which is facing my phone that's recording, and then let me go ahead and rotate this like that. So it has a little bit of a delay when you switch it, but it's not that much. See, you can sort of trigger it just there. It's because it has to change the orientation, I suppose. So let's go ahead and test it out and see what it looks like. So one thing I have noticed is that the flash doesn't come on, so you can use it as a torch while recording. And just to also see if we do have some sort of autofocus, which we do have an autofocus. But yeah, camera quality seems to be not too bad for this budget phone. So from the looks of the camera looks okay, and when you do rotate it, as I said, it does have a bit of a lag, but it doesn't matter. So the back camera is going to be exactly the same as the front camera as well, so it's good if you want to take a selfie and not have to lose any quality. You know that you've got the back camera, although it's not the best quality in the world, but what do you expect on a $33 smartphone, honestly? Fun fact, when I connect this up to my computer, it comes up as my HTC. So I think it's trying to rip off the HTC design just at the bottom there, but I don't know what it's trying to rip off here. If you know what it's trying to rip off here with the rotating camera, not the LG phones from back in the day when you had that little rotating camera in the middle. If any smartphones actually have this, I'm not too sure. Let me know. And yes, it is an 8GB ROM that is built into this phone, which is good. So I think with a case, I think what you're supposed to do is remove this adhesive and then stick it on here, like so. And then that'll be permanently stuck to the back cover of the phone, and then you can use it just like so. So if you want to know all the specs, they are listed here for you if you want to have a look at them and read them and pause the video, etc. For $33, you get this complete, fully functional phone with the rotating camera, which is pretty cool. Oh, and rotating the camera actually unlocks the phone, which might be a bit of a problem to some. Now, I wasn't expecting terribly much, but while using it, it does feel quite snappy, and for basic tasks and everything like that, it should be pretty much ideal for everything that you want. The camera quality, not so good, but it is acceptable for what this has to offer, and considering that it does have a 3.5mm headphone jack, dual SIM capabilities, and a micro SD card to expand your storage, it's a pretty good budget phone. It's just not on par with the flagship budget phones, if you want to call them. And while it is a bit chunkier than other phones and a bit heavier than other phones, it's still quite a comfortable phone to hold and does offer a pretty decent experience, although with an older version of Android installed. If it was running Android 6 or something, I can understand this being a really good product for the price, but with Android 4.4.2, they had to cut corners somewhere. Altogether, not too bad of a phone. Would recommend it if you are running really tight on a budget. I'm not too sure about the battery life. Being a 2000 mAh battery in this phone might hinder on some performance. For about a day or so, it should be good, but I don't know. With an older Android, it's not really optimized that well. That's my only gripe about this phone, is the older version of Android installed. But other than that, a very good phone for the price. So that concludes this review of the Timmy M9. All links are in the description below if you want to purchase one. It is located in China, so it does ship worldwide. You will be able to grab it for $33 US as of recording this video. But if anything changes, I will add it to the description below. So I hope you found this review informative. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If there's any questions regarding this or any functionality, I've got it in my hands to be able to tell you. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, feel free to leave a like or a dislike if you didn't. Comment below if you would like to see more content like this. We'll see you in the next one.